It's happening. The finals. The final. It is the end of a very long tournament. I'm trying to remember, guys. I know it's been a long time. Made some of you wait. Some of you have reached out to me and said, like, hey, I'm still waiting on that US Amateurs final match. And like, I want to do it, you know. It's like the straight pool videos. It's just hard for me to get the time carved out to be able to do it all. But I am gonna do my best here. Let's get my tools going. So yeah, it's oh, what happened? There we go. So camera might be a little wonky because it's before I started messing with the exposure and everything. There we go. I'm playing Dave. Bear with me here. My camera's a little funky. Playing Dave, and I don't remember Dave's skill level per se. But you know, he made it to the final, so clearly a good shooter. It was an interesting field. There were a couple different brackets, and it was basically modified double elimination to where you have that second barrel until you make it to the finals. And so I went through the day undefeated, but coming to the finals here, I do not have that backup. Pattern's looking okay so far here. You know, it really just the question about does this ball go in the side here? Does the 12 go in the side? It looks thin, but these side pockets can play kind of forgiving at specific speeds. And by this point in the day, I did have a pretty good feel for the conditions. That being said, I think there are still some times where the tables are, you know, they're a little funky. They kind of play weird sometimes. Looks like he was attempting the combination there. He just turns the table over. And this is a race to 11, I think. Just trying to remember. Like I said, it's been actual months now. But we're gonna get this done here today. Well, more or less. This is part one. Clearly, you saw in the title. But yes, it's been a very long couple days of the tournament. But pretty happy. You know, I made it to the final. I've been playing well. Had some good matches. Had some good runouts. But it's funny too, looking back on it now, feeling like my game is going to be in a pretty different place today compared to how it was when I played this match. This is a tricky layout. You've got, you know, this kind of cluster here. I don't know if I'm on the 2-ball right now to sort of open up, but it really doesn't lend itself to too much after that. The 7 would go in the side, and, you know, clearly the 5 wants to go here. But after the 2, I might just have to look at a safe to play into the cluster and try to get ball in hand back. I kind of come across table here. That one seems like it rolled off a little weird. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it looked like it was kind of coming this direction, sort of like rolled up a little bit. There's a bank available. This 1 ball banks back here, potentially just kind of firm it back there, and then you could land on the 3 or the 6. But conservative play here is just to try to keep them away from them and not offer up anything. I might have given him a sliver. You know, I probably could have kept him a little tighter behind those balls and make him kick at something instead of being able to shoot straight at something, but I'm not sure he's got an open shot from here. I remember a couple things about the set. I'm curious how it comes through compared to my memory, but I remember just some of the pacing at the table, some of the decisions of like when this is about my opponent, I guess, but like when he was taking breaks or like would sort of just walk away from the room, like leave the room without telling me. I guess I did hook him, so he's got to jump. So I just remember, and I don't know how much of it was fatigue, but I remember feeling kind of like frustrated and annoyed. That was definitely a foul. Yeah, he knew. Either knew he was going to miss or just that he double hit it. So kind of a tough set in that sense, that you're at the end of 2 really long days, and then there's maybe some personality stuff or some like etiquette stuff that comes up. Not sure what I was asking there. I have to clear out this cluster. The 6 could work. Play the 6 to the corner and then have the cue ball come into the 6 and into the cluster to try to open them up. You just have to pick the right side of the 3 or the 4 to spread them out. It's tough to play the 4 from here. Yeah, kind of just play the 6 and come across. That's what I'm sort of bobbing my head about is, you know, do I want to come full into the 3? Do I want to roll down between the 3 and the 4 to open them up? Counting on maybe a shot on the 4 or the 1 after that. My pace looks okay. This is first game set of 8 ball, early rack. Yeah, full into the 3, and that's, so yeah, coming too full into it, just double kiss, and it really doesn't avail me much. The 4 is more open now, so I guess there's a chance to go from the 5 to the 4 or the 5 to the 7 to the 4, but still kind of tough to deal with the 1 and the 3. Not beyond the pale here for me to, yeah, just sort of simple roll onto the 3 and try to block him again. Might have given up a shot on the 14, but the 1 and the 3 are a bit more open now. It's just tough. Like, you get ball in hand successfully and then really not able to develop the rack to keep him away from it. And that kind of back and forth can create an opening for momentum early in a set like this. And it's a long race. Like I said, it's long-ish, race to 11. So it can take a very long time depending on the split. That was the right attempt. Open things up now, and so I'd really just have to solve the 1, 3, and the 4. Not sure the 1 passes the 3. So I have to clear the 4, or maybe the 3 passes the 4. But that's the biggest problem, clearly. Maybe punch out for the 7 or just get across onto the 4. Oh, it bobbled out. Dug into it a little too much. Yeah, just trying to get too much out of the cue ball, I guess. But another turnover and everything's open for him. He clears the 9. There's no blocker for the 10. And then basically he's just got to get good on the 12. Everything else kind of solves itself. Getting a good line onto the 12 might be a little tricky. This sort of lens flare thing, or just like exposure thing, is exactly why I was trying to use that other app, by the way. Just a very slight shift in the focus is going to throw off the white balance, and so it gets all washed out. And I don't know how to fix that in post, if there's even a way to fix it in post. That's a choice. I don't know what that was about, if he was trying to just stay short side on the 15 and overshot it. He can still play it, but it's pretty tough from here. Makes a recovery. Probably lands on the 13 here. Unless he's under the 12. Nope. Gonna end up on the 13, but sort of shot lines taking him away from his next balls unless he can curve back, kind of warp back, or straighten it back out to come towards the... Yeah, he's got to sort of warp back and away. Does not scratch. Felt like he was going to. And if he's not behind the point here, it's very close. The 12 may not even be shootable from here, and probably the 10 is blocked, or he'd have to curve around the 7. It's pretty unfortunate for him. You know, he avoided the scratch, which was fortunate, but he's in a tough place. I would like to have ball in hand again. Let's see if I can see how many times I need ball in hand to get through this first rack. Yeah, I have to keep in mind, just like to be patient with myself, kind with myself here, because like I said, it was 2 very long days. I had family out, so I had people watching in person. He had enough of the 10 to get into it pretty solid. Just kind of fires at it. Maybe hoping he could send it around like 3 rails in the side, maybe was the idea. I'm on the 5 and the 7 and the 4. The 5 takes me across table. I think the 4 is still a blocker for the 1 and the 3, so I probably have to play the 4. I'm looking at a zone for maybe the 1 and the 3. I know that the 10 is blocked by the 4, so I probably feel pretty safe to leave the cue ball up here if I'm going after a back cut on the 7 to land on the 1 and the 3. So just sort of drag it across table. Now maybe the 1 goes. Otherwise I'm going to be on the 5 and I have to come across. I don't hate playing the 5 here and having the cue ball go across, land on the 4, and then this is your zone for the 1 and the 3. You play one of those up table. You have to take a bit more of a shot on the 1 or the 3, but it's less cue ball movement. Less that can go wrong in trying to get on the 1 and the 3. This is tricky because I came across, but yeah, rolled the 10 right into a blocker for the 3. Could go safe from here again, not give up much of a shot on the 12, sort of roll the 1 ball forwards. But I don't have a great solve for the 3. If I go full into the 3, send the 3 up table past the 1, maybe I can put the cue ball behind the 1. Or dig into the 4 and try to rip the cue ball back and open it up. It's feeling like a lot of low percentage plays here. Play the 1 in the side as a bit of a 2-way. If the 1 goes, then maybe I roll the 3 up. Play the 1 in the corner to try to open up the 3, which is a good attempt. But now I'm still faced with a tricky shot on the 3. Probably still supposed to play the 3 here, like run the 3 up table and come across for the 4. Pretty good odds that you land on the 4 in some way. And knowing that the 10 ball is going to stay blocked probably gives me some hope. Played that pretty sweet, but tip position came down table on the 4. It's tricky. That's, you know, it's a tricky shot, and the tip position I had to stay above. Just roll this, roll safe. I didn't get there. Man. My man. I do that a lot, guys. I need to work on that kind of speed 1. Really, really soft touch to get safe, roll behind a ball. I feel like I used to be pretty good at it when I was first starting out. Yeah, big choice here because the 10 doesn't pass, so he's got to play this shot. He's got to come with it. And the 12 makes a pretty natural key ball. But it's a big shot, and you have to work the cue ball to get across table. Even with ball in hand, this still feels tough. But slides it up really nice. And he lands fine on the 12. So you just have to decide if you want to try to hold this ball or come down and across. You try to hold the cue ball here, you're giving up less momentum instead of cue ball comes into here and you come out and back. Gets across it. And he does not convert. Just sort of lunged at the 8 ball a little bit, I think. I'm thin, I've got a manageable shot on the 4, but what a battle here. What a battle in the first rack. So thin. Interesting fatigue or pressure or just rushing it a little bit, but you know, okay, it's a tricky shot to make sure that you come back above the 8, but I so severely overcut that ball, and maybe just tip position was wrong, aiming error. I know Dave did not expect to get back to the table. He's got to call his pocket. I think the play is to try to play the 8 where his bridge hand is. Yeah. He knocks in the 4 ball, gives up a shot on the 8, but a tester. I mean, I'm just not making balls in this first rack, so I gotta, yeah, take a big breath. Take a big breath. And I call it in the corner. Stay still on this one. With pace, put that one down. I take the first game. Contested first game. Going with a head ball break here. I just seem to remember the second ball break wasn't feeling too good for me on the big table. And I just wanted to focus on cue ball control, just not lose my cue ball. Let's take what you make. You have to go for the solids. I'm looking at the 3, 6, and the 7 down here. They've got a pocket, but I think the 7 is blocked over here. So they all have to go here, which gives you that kind of same window for them right back here. I'm on the 1, so that brings me back out. Probably just play close to center table here unless I have a different line on something. Let's see. Yeah, just kind of get to the center of the table and then build your options from there. Unsure if the 2 passes the 9. Looks like it might. I am on the 4, and that line on the 4 takes me towards the 7 and the 6 if I can hold the cue ball. That's a good way to get through that cluster. Looking at the back of the ball here just because I know I want to undercut this and just try to float over to the long rail. Just speed, kind of thick hit to hold. Yep, and pretty much played exactly where I wanted it to. You saw it play onto this side of the pocket. Now I'm pretty good on the 6. It's going to take me up above the 3 or into the 3. Maybe the 7 does go in the top right. If it does, then developing the 3 is not a bad thing. because I'll land on the 7. So yeah, we're talking about this. Went up a little higher with the way I cut the 6. Looks okay. Kind of flat on the 7. So I have to pick a spot for the 3. Yeah, and if I get close to the center of the table on the 2, so that was the idea, here's the shot line. If I'm on this side of the shot line for the 2, then that line takes me across for the 8. So put yourself on the 3 in a place that puts you there on the 2. Tried to slide across from the 7 to get good on the 3. It was too straight. It was too straight. I tried to manufacture an angle. $12 looks like a pretty natural opening shot. 13 probably passes the 7 here. So you use the 12 to come across. Maybe you're under the 15 and that takes you to the 9 and the 10 up table. But yeah, he's got to get through this 12. The line on the 12, I guess, does kind of take him back towards the 13. He might have to stay down table from here unless he wants to just drop on the 11 on the top side. Just kind of snips it. He's on the 11, he's below it. That line is going to take him up towards the 9 and the 10. He's on the 13, but it's a bit of a stretch from here. Use this just kind of move angle on the 11 to come up table. Got to pick his spot. Yeah, lands on the 10. A little bit of a back cut on the 10, so decent move angle to come across the 9 or the 15, maybe playing position for both, so he's got options. But now he really does have to commit to the end game patterns. You know, how does the 14 and the 13 connect? 13 maybe being your key ball, and you're playing the 8 in the bottom left. Gets into it pretty full and draws straight back to the long rail. He's still above the 15, so the 15 is going to bail him out, but now he's got to do some work to come back up for the 9. And sliding across this shot line on the 15 and sending him down table, he's either going to go into the 14, he can go thin to get past it, go a little fuller to come across it. Kind of drags into it. And develops the 14, but doesn't really come away with a great shot. The 14 will go in the bottom side, but man, it's kind of tough from down there. You're on the backside of the 9, but you have to go at it with a bit of pace, and maybe you're trying to come 2 rails out and land on the 13. Recovery shot making here, maybe a little help from the 3, puts him on the 13. Now he should be able to slide across, play the 13, come across for the 14, and then you need a line to land on the 8. I don't imagine he'll want to shoot the 13 and hold for the short side on the 14 in the top right. He should probably come across the line. So here and out. And then he can play the 14 and come back across for the 8. Got into it okay, maybe not quite on the line. Bit of a decel probably in the stroke there, committed to a certain speed, but then didn't really deliver that speed. If anything, over hitting that ball is gonna I mean, always land you over the shot line. Underhitting it means he's got to do a little more work to get position, but he can still recover here. Yeah, go short side, high inside on that ball, and he's got to make a shot to close out here, but still doable. Runs that one out. Kind of slides off the rack here, not a full head ball break. And we are left with a cluster. He's got to be feeling it too, guys, right? Like I said, it's 2 really long days and you're in the final and you feel like it's going to be a battle. I'm looking at my options here. Suddenly I feel like I'm playing in the straight pool tournament again. Some of the solids are open, but yeah, the 6 and the 3 are really packed in there. It is an open table. Decide to go after the stripes. Maybe I'm trying to open up the rack right away. Go thin off the 13 and get into the pack. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. That's the risk of coming into it with the pace. 8-ball very, very close to going in the side pocket. Just want to keep my heart rate up. Just want to feel something, guys. If the 15 passes the 1, that is the shot. It may not go from here. Beyond that, the 11 in the side, but you're probably bridging over the 14 or bridging around it, so always going to be awkward. If I stay still on this, I should be able to salvage something. Did I go into it with too much pace? Really overhit that. I think you have to just roll that one in and get the natural straight line. Just bridging over something and digging into it too much, there's a lot that can go wrong. Bright side is it's still kind of a cluster. It's still a tricky rack to get out. He's on the 4, so a back cut on that, probably just to hold down there. I can't imagine he'll want a lot of pace. Almost like a drag kind of stroke. And keeps himself down table. He might be on the 7. He's on the 1 for sure. Everything's got a pocket now, so it's really just a matter of his positional play and kind of the patterns to get through. He's looking at how maybe the 3 connects to the 6, but he'd have to get enough above the 3 to stay above the 6. 5 makes a nice key ball. The 5 dropping down into the bottom right, and then the 8 naturally going in the side, right where it is. So yeah, he's got to make a shot on the 1 ball to come across table, probably onto the 3 right away. Floats over pretty nice. A bit full on it, so he's not going to be able to use the rail too much to come back above the 6. Alternatively, he can just roll down here. Much safer play to drop on the 2. You're all but guaranteed position on the 2 ball. And then you have to do a bit of work to get from maybe the 7 to the 6, but yeah, he's picking his spot. He's looking at drawing back. He does want to be on the 6 here. Just kind of a snip draw. He gets around the 10, but he's still not quite on the shot line. I think he wanted to be on or above the shot line for the 6. This being the line. Because now him shooting into the 6 ball is going to take him into the 15 and probably across table like this, which is, you know, not the end of the world necessarily if he lands on the 7, but just there's more that can go wrong here. Does manage to get into the 15 in a way that sends him across for the 7. He's looking at the 5 because the 5 is clustered now. The 12's gotten in the way. maybe it plays up between the 8 and the 11. I guess, yeah, he just feels like he's got to go for it now, unless he's going to try to play it off the 8. Yeah, you just slide that up. It's a good play. It's a good recovery. Just got to like Dave to get out from here, I would think. On the line of the 2, above the line and below the line. I mean, really anywhere on the 2 should be fine from here. Double checking his spot for the 8. And yeah, you can soft roll this in the side or you can play it straight up. Looks like he's calling the side. But it's another good run out from him. I mean, I missed the ball in the side pocket and he takes this one. Good out. Hit him square for us, Dave. Makes a ball. So you have to take stripes from here. It looks like a severe cut on the 14, but it's always taking you down table, and then your options are going to be pretty good, I would think. And you never have to come back up table. The 14 might be the shot. The 11's a little touchy. It's kind of the only problem I see beyond getting past the 14. If you don't like that to open up, you could play the 10 or the 12 probably from here. You have the 15 even. So there's a lot of ways to get down table. Back cut on the 10, kind of shuffling things. Moves the 11, ultimately, I would say, into a better position. It should be. But kind of hampered, because he's going to have to shoot around the 3 ball or over the 3 ball, maybe even with a bridge. He could cut the 15 and avoid all that. That might be the shot, just because it's much more playable from here. And the other thing about the 12 is, where are you trying to land? Yeah, I mean, even if you can reach it, here's your line on the 12, and like anywhere along this line, unless you're trying to get down by the pocket or on the short rail to back cut the 9, tricky to get there. Coming across the 15 to play position for the 12 again. Like you're already on the 12, so I guess just shoot it now is probably the consideration, but playing inside on the 15 to come down for the 9 is probably too tricky, so I guess I understand why he's taking the 12 here. Double bridge, and yeah, he rolled down below it. He knew he needed that line on the 9. That's well played. Trying to just spin around the 15 here. Yeah, I think tried a little too hard to get easy around the 15. I knew he saw it. I knew he was feeling that run out. And I get to shoot. Bit of work to do. I'm on the 3. I've been sitting for a minute, so I'm probably going to want to firm this 3 ball to get back into my arm. Maybe the 7 plays past the 9. It's hard to tell. The 5 and the 1 are not as complicated as they seem, and then the 5 definitely goes clean, and then the 1's open. So that's nothing crazy. This is the biggest problem here, the 4 and the 6. Right? Like, that's your problem area. Nice little stun run through action to roll down for the 7. Could consider the 5 and the side from here, but I don't think that's the play. I think we need to just roll into the 7. The other thing is, it's probably that 7 ball from earlier in the set, where if I try to get too much out of this, play rail first at the wrong speed, there's a lot that can go wrong. Okay. Man, I almost opened that 4 up in a really nice way. I think it still helped. Unclear if the 6 is going to go in off the 9, but I landed on the 5 and the 6. It could still be the play to just run the 6 down the rail, nudge the 9 out, try to claim the pocket sort of thing. Otherwise, I'm going to snip off the 5 and try to stay above the 1 and come across table. But yeah, the 6 being blocked and clustered with the 4 is making this rack pretty tough. Try to roll it down and through. I get a pretty good result here. Maybe the 9 will go off the 6. That might be the play. Try to back cut the 9, maybe into the short rail first. Oops. And either it'll go in off the 6 or it'll just get in the way. Yeah, because otherwise he's got to back cut the 14 and you're going to send the cue ball loose. I don't know. Slides in off the 6. That's a good shot. Opens things up for him. He's flat on the 15. He's got work to do to get back up table, but if he can sort of stun off the 15, 15 goes here, cue ball goes into the short rail and comes back up. You're asking a lot of the cue ball from there, but that's the game-winning shot. You might be looking at the 14. You shoot the 14 from here, it's easier to get on the 11, and then you can float back down for the 15. You're not asking as much from the cue ball. I get that. I get considering that. Comes across it, but with a lot of pace. Yeah, he won't have the 11, but I think he lands with a cut angle on the 15. He could go thin 1 rail on this 15 to get above it, or to get above the 11, I mean. So you like come into the 15. It's going to want to come back a little bit, maybe a little bit of check side to have it come at least straight back up table. High inside ball. A lot of pace, but using the second rail to kind of open it up, this can work. I think that's a judgment call. You know, there are certain situations where you do have to cross the line of position, but we know that like the shot on the 11 has a pretty big window, like we can see, like, but you want to be above that ball to take you down towards the 8. And in this case, he went across the line and back down instead of just staying on the line. And here again, lots of pace, kind of spins out and around it, but he lands on the 8. Puts it away. Makes it 3-1. I'm down 3-1 in the final here. It's a little more square, but yeah, still not a great spread. Yeah, it feels like his break's not working. See if I can put some balls together here. Opening shots, the 15 is going to feel kind of intimidating. They just don't always want to go. I'm looking at cutting the 1, which takes me back down table. This is also intimidating. I'm either going to float across to hold for the 3 or try to come down table. Yeah, using a bit of pace to just try to get down into the mix here. Don't know if I landed on the 7 or not. It doesn't look great. If I have the 7, that would be nice, and I could start to chip away at things, but I think the 2 is blocked. I don't think the 2 goes anywhere. Yeah, he's just leaving. Yeah. He didn't say anything. Yeah, he didn't say anything to me. I think he talked to the tournament director and his son. It's just a weird thing to do, if you ask me. Like, your opponent's at the table, you don't say anything to your opponent. It's not your turn. He just leaves. When you're winning, when you're playing well, more or less, right? Yeah, I don't know. It just seems weird. Feel free to chime in here, guys. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a whole bathroom break. I'm not sure what happened there, but he is back. Looking at thinning the 5, or maybe I have enough of the 5 to play a combo on the 3. Touchy from here. A lot of bridge action in this final. Yeah, too thin on the 5. Cue ball comes back up into the pack, so it's a good cue ball. Good sort of two-way cue ball here where I'm keeping it down table. I want to like limit his options. He's like on top of the 12. If it's not frozen to the 12, it's very close. But had I made the combination, that cue ball speed would have kept me down table for the 3 or the 7. Just try to maximize my options here. Maybe he's got the edge of the 11. It's hard to tell. This camera angle's not great. I just obviously have it on the adjacent table, but if he wants to get into the 11, at worst, he could go rail first. He might just have the shot. Yeah, he had enough of it to make it. So good recovery here. See what he comes away with. He might have enough of the 14 to play that in the side. But he still has to deal with the 10, 12, 8 situation. And the 15 just looks unfriendly to me. I don't know if it plays in the side, like I said earlier, but coming across from the 9 ball to the 15 might be the play. How do you solve the cluster? Yeah, so he had plenty of that ball. The 9 could take him to the 15 right now. He's looking at a cut on the 13 that would take him into the cluster to open it up. And looking at the 15 to see if it goes. Trying to hold from the 9 to that cut angle on the 13 is pretty touchy. He's looking at a line down table, maybe under the 12, to see if sending the 12 up table is the right play. Gets across the 15. So he's going to thin it in the side and try to roll down table. Gets down into the cluster. From here, maybe the play is just to roll the 10 to the rail and leave me on top of the 8, so that if I shoot at the 4, I have to shoot over the 8. Because he has awkward queuing to shoot the 13. He doesn't want to give up a shot on the 7. Plays it with a bit of speed kind of out and back into the cluster. I'm left with shooting over a ball pretty much no matter what I do. I have the back cut on the 6, but I think I still have to bridge over the 10, because this goes, but it's very thin. That's probably the play, though, instead of trying to take the 4. And I would feel safe doing this, too. Okay. I just want to create distance. I just want to send him up table and try to bait him into opening up the cluster, gambling on the fact that he's not getting out from here. Be a big shot on the 13. You know, I left him the shot. I don't know that he's gotten an angle on the 10 to send it past the 3 and the 5. Maybe there's a rail first available. I think I played a good shot there because his stuff is a pretty low percentage from up table. I'd say that kind of safe that I played is an underrated safety shot. Because look, even, you know, he has to try to really soft roll it, and it's so hard to do from up table. You just might not trust the roll, you might not trust your aim. There's a lot that can go wrong. Not giving him up, you know, I'm not giving up ball in hand, sending him up table, creating distance, giving him some kind of look at something, and it's just really hard for him to re-safe. It's hard for him to get safe there with an open table. And I converted it. Well, see if I can convert it to a win, but I have an open table here, more or less. Just have to pick a good pattern. The 3 is your natural opening shot, probably just done across for the 5 or the 6. The 7 to the 2 looks pretty good. The 2 can take me up for the 4. You're not going to love the 4 as a key ball, but it's funny. I got into it pretty thin. Because I had to go kind of thin to get it past the 5. And now I don't know if the 2 goes between the 7 and the 6. I'm thin on the 5 to where it would take me up for the 4, but then getting shaped from the 4 to something else is touchy. So I immediately make this harder than it needed to be by not shaping the 5 and the 6 right away. I'm going to go after the backside of the 5. Yeah, this is what I mentioned early in the video. It's just, I feel like my decision making has changed a lot since this tournament. Yeah, pretty thin shot, so you know you're always going to be sent up table. And I let this travel quite a bit. Get pretty full on the 4. It's going to make it tougher to move down table. But I think I'm probably just eager to shoot at this point because these last couple racks he's been running out. You know, I'll like miss a ball or give up ball in hand or something like that, and then he just kind of like gets his way through it. I think I looked because I thought he left again. Just kind of stunned down. Risky. There's a lot that can go wrong there. I land okay. Probably have to glide off the 6 ball here to contain the cue ball. Looking at my zone for the 2. Looking at the back of the 7. I think the play is cut the 7 and try to use the 6 to contain me. Yeah, kind of slides off the 6. Now, yeah, I need to get up. Probably just past the first diamond on the 2 ball. Just below that shot line on the 2 is going to mean that the cue ball moves up above the 8. That's way too thin. Yeah, that's tough, guys, because I was looking at this, which naturally takes me across the 8, but severely underhit that one, and now I'm very, very thin, and so what I'm faced with is I got to use the 10 to stop my cue ball, which would make for a nice recovery shot, but here again, low percentage. There's just too much that can go wrong. You hit the wrong side of the 10, you don't hit it full enough. I put myself in a position where I have to recover a couple times in this run out. Movement from the 4 ball back down table, and this, yeah, having to like stop myself using the 10 with that kind of pace, and probably some check side. Risky, but you know, it's going to work out, but risky. Not the kind of play that is going to get me through long sets. Managed to get through it. Pretty good head ball break here. But a dry one. No easy opening shots. Because if he wants to shoot up table, he's hampered by the 4. Shooting down table, there's really not much available. Maybe he has clean queuing at the 15. That might be the best option. But you claim stripes, and then your 11 ball's blocked. The 13's kind of tough. Interesting racks. Pretty interesting 8 ball set. Yeah, well, at least he had clean queuing for this 15. Kind of snips away from it. I wonder why. I wonder if he was trying to... I don't know, guys. I wonder if he was trying to get on the 9? Why do you hit it like that? If you could roll forward from the 15 and come up table to play the 12 or the 9 or the 10... Why snip back? Maybe he's got the backside of the 12 from here, but you can't like this shot. Outside of that, you have to shoot the 14. He was there. He landed on it. And it's a good recovery. He's got a move angle on the 10 and the 9. Still has to solve the 11. Does he try to hold for the 14 here? Does he play towards the 14 and land on the 13? He's on both. He's got the 9 as a backup too. So what solves your 11 ball? Where does he go from here? The inside ball on the 13 is just kind of tough to get to dig into it enough to get to the 11. He's looking at a bank on the 11. Maybe that goes. There might be enough room between the 6 and the long rail to send the 11 that way. Playing the 14 now, you just can't get through to the 11 unless you're trying to send the 8 into it or something, but so plays for center table. He's on the 14, and that line can take you across. Kind of depending on tip position, right? Like, this could be your track. Do you want to play into the 11 here? Do you want to play into the 6? Because short side on the 11 doesn't give you anything. I think you just are trying to play into the 11. In the hopes that it opens up for a short side shot, maybe? Rolls into the 8, misses the 14, clusters up the 6. So pretty different rack now. And here again, I don't have a great opening shot. Maybe I've got the backside of the 7. I could play safe off the 4 and encourage him to open up the 11-6. I just don't think the combination here is not super friendly. But if I play off the 4 and put him down here under the 8, then he's basically got to hit the 11 and maybe open it up in a way that helps me. Beyond that, sending the cue ball up table might be good again, because you're not going to leave much of a shot on the 9 or the 14. If I could get the cue ball up table, into here, then he's going to have to maybe just try to shoot the 9 in the side or something. You could go thin off the 4 to do that, or the backside of the 7. Or I just roll into the 2-3 and open that up and leave him down table. Similar thinking to where he's not going to have a great option. You don't have to try for ball in hand here necessarily, but... Or you do that. I think it was a containment effort. I was trying to open the 2 and the 3 and keep the cue ball down table. Don't think it would have been intended that I was sending the 2 across to make my cluster worse. He's on the 11. You got to think he's just going to soft roll from the 11 and keep me down there, not open up the 6. Because sure, he can make the 14 from here, maybe. And that might avail him a shot on the 9, but then where are you going? He's got to solve the 11 ball to win this game, and there's not There's just not a solve for it right now. I think this is the play. He's got to put me behind the 2 because he doesn't want to leave me a shot on the 3. He needs to do this. Wow, there's the rectangle again. He needs to just slide off like this and put me behind the 2. He heard me. He tried it, but man, it worked out pretty poorly for him because he put me on the 6. He opened up the 6 and the 2. Now I could get out potentially if I can figure out my lines. If I play the 6 right now, it moves the 11 away from the 8, and I'm always going to be on the 3. That's a good opportunity. Opportunity to tie it up. Gonna claw my way back here. So yeah, I think you just firm this, open up the 11. You know you're gonna be on the 3, maybe even above the shot line of the 3 to help you move. And from there, the only other problem is the 4 and the 2. So I probably have to play the 2 after the 3, something like that. I didn't want to go after it. Must not have seen it. Looked pretty good from back here. Now I'm just trying to get him to play the 11. Turning it over where he could do something funky and win this game. I guess it's possible I didn't have the back cut on the 6, but it looked good. Yeah, he's just gonna try to play rail first off the 3, which is a game-winning shot for him. They're very nice. That's how you do it. And now he's just kind of an easy roll on the 14. You got to guarantee you make it, and you stay somewhere on the line of the 9. That's a good play. Now he should just be able to snip away from the 9. He's across the line, but I think it's still okay. If you felt comfortable using the 1, then it can take you back down table. But anywhere past that line of the 6, the blocker of the 6, you're fine. You just got to make this ball and avoid the blockers. Maybe try to get a little too cute on it, but he comes away with a shot. It's real thin back cut. Depending on how he hits this, the scratch is definitely on. He should be able to avoid the scratch here, maybe spin away from it. Gonna dig into this a little bit. Yeah, too worried about the scratch. Oh, look at the result. Keeps me down table. And the 4 is still blocked. What are the odds? Well, what do we do from here, guys? You play the 2, do you go thin off the 3 and send him up table and try to get ball in hand? Because I have to solve the 4 ball somehow. I'm just not going to want to turn the table back over after the way the set's been going so far. I gotta want to shoot. I have a bit of a back cut on the 2 to where if I do firm the 2 up table, it could take me across for the 6 or the 3. or out to the center-ish of the table for the 1, something like that, but it doesn't solve the 4. I have to play safe, I think, because the 2 is a little too risky. It's probably the right play. Just keep them blocked on this. In APA format, a scratch on the 8 is a loss. Just missing the 8 ball or fouling is not a loss, but if you scratch the cue ball. And I gave him an edge of it. He moved it just slightly. The 4 ball remains blocked, but the 2 ball's in a better position to open up the 4. You got to get out from here, man. You got to make something happen. I'm not going to love rolling the 7 ball into the side pockets. I just don't feel very comfortable on these tables, but I think that's probably the shot. I've just noticed just like an observation on these tables. If you try to firm it into the side pockets, sometimes it'll sort of bobble out. I'm gonna miss that 7 ball. Brother. That was not a save, guys. That was just a miss. He's trying the rail first, play the 8 ball in the bottom right, which is a lot of cue ball movement. Makes a good hit on it, does not scratch. Okay, you gotta get out from here. Everything is open. And the 3 ball still goes, so you gotta open up with a 3, soft touch. You're probably not going to like what you get on the 2 ball, but you're still at the table, you're still shooting, you have a chance to win. Play the 3 nice and easy. I don't play it nice and easy. That's okay. Probably did not get on the 2, but I've got the 6. Why does it feel like I'm going to miss this 6 ball? Because I want to miss the 6 ball. That's just pressure, man. That's just mismanaged pressure from getting frustrated and not having my rhythm, and man, tough one. So many chances in this rack. Yeah, he's supposed to put that away. Here's an opportunity to cope. I need some coping skills. Need to calm myself down. There's still a lot of pool to play. And plenty of opportunities, right? Like, okay, there's, been 2 racks where I miss a ball and he runs out. But for the most part, there's tons of back and forth. Lots and lots of innings, lots of opportunities. There's some coping. Opening with the 14, that might be the best option here. No, I'm on the 3. Long straight in on the 3. Because I want to settle myself. And it finds the hole. That's a quirk that I have, guys. I'll do that kind of like long straight in shot sometimes just to remind myself that I've got a stroke. That like I can hit the ball nice sometimes. You get a good strike like that and it can settle you. It's a gamble, right? Like it's a little risky to try to do that when you're on tilt. And I definitely was, or maybe I still am. But coming across this 5 ball opens things up. That's a pretty aggressive play, but I can get good on it from the 1. I'm on it right now, too. That's the other thing. No need to play shape for something if you already have it, but maybe I just don't want to come back up for the 1 again. I'm looking a little sharper, though. Sometimes a little anger will get you there. I'm gonna play the 5, try to open up the 6, 8, 9. No, just came across. Miscued, I guess. Miscued on that one. My pre-shot looked a little different on that 5 ball. I think I rushed it a little bit. I didn't have my normal kind of settle down step. The 10 ball looks like it goes past the 4. The 9 is blocked. The 11's playable. The 13, 15 are not great, so likely to see more innings here unless he does something special to open up. Yeah, which I think he tried to do just now. Yeah, we know he was trying to open up the pack. He can do it again. He's on the 14. Little back cut on the 14. Opens up the cluster. If he pulls ahead to 5-2, that's going to be a big obstacle for me. Yeah, I tried to open it up. How does this finish? Not too nice for me. My 6 ball's really gummed up. I don't think I have any kind of shot on the 5. I've got to look at the 2. Maybe that's the play. Like with the bridge, you just roll down onto the 2. But turnovers are killing me in this set so far. I have to try to find a way to control this a little more, lock things up a little more, and create opportunities for myself. Just has not been working out that way. Can I roll the 6 into the 11 and try to keep him in the cluster? Roll the 6 into the 13 if it passes the 11. Decided to make the 13, leaving the 11 blocked in the bottom right, but maybe encouraging him to play the 11 in the top left. The 9 is still blocked. That's an interesting choice. It solves a problem for me. The 8 doesn't work for either of us where it lies, so he might just have to go after the 11 ball here. Hard to get good shape unless you're comfortable rolling through this ball, but even then you're kind of going into the long rail. It's kind of always going to do one of these, go a high ball, maybe you can get above it, roll into the 15. But most of the time this is going to want to go into the rail and come back out. Let's see what he does. Looks like he's going at it with a high ball. Or at least aiming a high ball. Comes across. Nice shot. That's a nice shot. So it opens up the 9 and the 8. And he's on the 9. He's also on the 14. You might want to play the 14 from here. Because it puts you... Yeah, this is tricky. Playing the 9 with a bridge. Coming out and around. Then maybe you land on the 15 or the 12. The 14 goes down here, but he needs a solve for the 8. If he gets kind of close to the shot line of the 14, so here's that line again. If he gets over here, then he could roll into the 5 and the 8 and try to open them up. He's getting across it. It's a little light, but it could still work. He's also on the 12 to where if he goes into that, he could stun off onto the 5, or he could come through and develop it that way. The stun might be asking too much. I think he may be a bit too full. This could be touchier than I thought. He's on the 15, but the 15 takes you down below the 14. It's hard to get a good line from there. I think he's just got to take the 12 or the 14 right now. Interesting. So stop shot on the 15 puts him full on the 12. Can he draw back from here to get on the 14, or does he have to try to follow through into the point and come back out and across? Nice. So he could kind of snip across it, avoid the 5. He's basically on the line of the 14, maybe just slightly over it. I'm just not sure that there's a bank available for the 8-ball either. Okay, nice. So he did get across the line to where he could open up the 5 and the 8. That's well played. He's locked in. Scoreline reflects it too. I mean, he came to play. It went down 5-2. Stripes look okay here. 11 ball goes past the 6. Really the only problem is the 10. I was just trying to look back to figure out what the scoring is because I don't even remember right now. But it's similar to Masters. It's a race to 11, combination of 8 ball and 9 ball. So it's normally a race to 7. It's 5 games of 8 ball and then up to 8 games of 9 ball. But in the finals, obviously, it's different. It's a different split. So it might be 8 games of 8 ball. Because this is the 8th game. He opens with a combo on the solids. Oh, he had solids, I guess. Combination is not a gimme. Plays it okay, but kind of loses his cue ball. I noticed that Dave's got that mannerism of kind of like lunging into the shot. It seems like he does that when he feels like he missed it. He's in a tough spot here. Maybe the 3 goes off the 13. He's going to play safe. Yeah, just kind of keep me down table. The 3 might have gone off the 13. It's pretty aggressive from there, but I just wonder, I mean, if you're up 5-2 and you have a potential to win this rack and maybe even close out the 8-ball set, do you just go for it? It leaves me down table. I'm thin on the backside of this 13, but I bet I could still make it from here. Again, everything's okay except the 10. The 11 could lead you to the 10 once the 13's taken care of. If I figure out the 11 to the 10 situation, everything else should be okay. But man, the way that I'm shooting in this final so far, not inspiring a lot of confidence for me getting out from here. See if I can rally. Down 5-2 in a race to 11. You're not going to love that, but still a lot of pool. Yeah, I just stayed conservative here. It's a lot of turnovers. Didn't like my odds on the back cut on the 13. Didn't see another shot. And so I think I just try to keep him away from the 5 and create distance. But you're just kind of, yeah, you're just daring him to get out. Does he have the 5? I guess not. He might be trying to back cut the 2. Which at the right speed is always going to work in his favor. Oh, the 4-ball went. He needs this to go to get on the 5. Maybe didn't quite get there. He gave like a little shake of the head, so I'm just going based on that. Another revolution or so, he would have been on the 5, and that could have been game over. It's going into the 3. Tried to play off the 3 and make the 5. It's tough. But I think, again, conservative cue ball to where I don't have great options. I might be able to just spear in this 13. Long, kind of straight in. Almost like maybe a little bit of a back cut on the 13. I gotta find my stroke here. I gotta hit a good one. Cool. That puts me somewhere. Puts me on the 9. The 15 leads down to the 10 and the 12. The 11 goes. That 13 ball might have just won me the game if I can play how I know I can play. Gotta find my game. Doesn't seem like I really picked a zone for the 14. I felt like I was just always going to land on it. You just don't want to overhit that, but kind of stun back over to the 15. I'm playing pretty intuitively right now. Not very intentionally, which certainly bites me sometimes. But I might need a pinch of that to figure this out. Yeah, you can see the tempo shifting. You can see my body language looks a little different. Kind of come across that. Those are a little awkward, right? It's a bit of a back cut, and I had to use a little bit of check side. I don't think I had to, but decided to. You want to come up above? Taking the 12, I guess. No, I took the 10. Came across that one. Created some distance. Suddenly this one's not high percentage anymore. The line is natural. It's always going to take me across for the 11, but made this shot tougher than it needed to be. I certainly could have been close on the 10 and the 12. Kind of a back cut snip draw on both of them to get across for the 11. And suddenly now I'm having to come across table. So just by way of like mentioning ways that I could have done this better, because yeah, that's what happens. That's exactly what happens. That's why I mentioned it. I just created unnecessarily low percentage shots. And that can be particularly frustrating because I felt like I was starting to break through. I was starting to build some momentum and find my rhythm. And then like one or two bad decisions, one or two bad position plays, and suddenly you're on tilt again. Pretty natural here to maybe roll below the 5. You could kind of stun run through, or you could just roll this ball. Plays a stop shot, so he's asking a little more of the cue ball to get from a flat 5 above the 8 somewhere. I think normally you would want to be, you know, here's your shot line. You would normally want to be here so that you can come out and up, but you could still make something work from this. Because that's what can happen. There's a glimmer of hope. This is a very tough position. There's a bank shot playable. He could try to cut it in the bottom side, and the 12th ball makes it a little more forgiving maybe. But kind of puts himself on the 50 and tough situation. I don't mind this decision, especially because it's containing the cue ball down table, and maybe there's a chance it moves the 12 if he doesn't make it. Just barely missed it. Really was not off by that much. Kind of went into the point. I need to take a breath and settle and figure this out, because man, this is hurting. If I win this game, there might be a chance. It's the, you know, commentators love to say it, but there's a huge difference between 6-2 and 3-5. And I need a little 3-5 in my life right now. Not the most comfortable shot here, because I do have to stun to get up above the 12. With a bit of pace, kind of cheat the pocket, but hit a good one, man. Come across the 12. Get pretty natural on that line. And I think Dave feels it. I think he, you know, recognizes that one leaked out, and he really needed to close that game. You can see how weird those side pockets react. Part 1. Can I stop the bleeding? It's a tough set. I hope you guys are enjoying it. It's been a mix for me, you know. It's tough looking back on this one and seeing, man, I feel like I see things differently now. I play better now than I did even just, you know, a couple months ago. But that's the game, that's the growth. I'm still learning something from this. I'm definitely enjoying myself. So yeah, like I said, I hope you guys are too. There is more to come. There is a second part to this that will be out as soon as I possibly can. It's just hard for me to get this time together so that I can sit down and do it. But I love doing these. You will be seeing more of me again soon. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. Helps the channel out a lot. Sharing it with your buddies helps a lot too. It shows it to new people on YouTube, and then helps the algorithm, and all there's like weird, you know, YouTube magic behind that. But thank you for being here. The other thing to consider is I have a Patreon going now. It's deep dive content on matches, it's breakdowns, it's workouts, it's drills. But in particular, the stuff that I'm the most excited about is the mental game piece. And that is introduced on my Patreon, and there's a video of it here on YouTube as well. So check that stuff out. It's very specialized skills that I think anybody could benefit from. So give that a gander. And yeah, stay tuned. More to come.